If Daybreak Games release a new Time Locked Progression server, what should the rules be? There's no news of servers yet, but Daybreak Games usually release 2 progression servers around spring every few years. I want the servers to be different. One server should cater to casuals, and the other server should cater to hardcore players. The casual server. Now, if any of you disagree with me or have other ideas, please leave it in the comments below. I try to acknowledge and reply to all the comments made within the first 24 hours of a video going up. I would like the casual server to be slower. I think 2 to 3 months between expansions is a good pace for a slower player. I think Mischief and Thornblade had the right idea. 3 months for a level cap increase and 2 months for other expansions. From what I saw, the second month, people started to have enough of doing the same raids over and over, and the third month tended to burn people out. But casual players take longer, so I think 2 to 3 months is a good pace for them. The experience rate of Mischief, Thornblade, Mangler, it's also good. And I would like this server to also be free trade. Free trade is being able to trade items that are normally no drop. The reason I would like free trade is because of raiding. If you raid, you're going to get gear that's normally no drop, and the next expansion with the new raids is basically all replaced. And you don't have bank space to store it all, so you end up having to destroy it, which is really wasteful. You spend a lot of time getting that gear. So free trade would let you hand down that gear to alts or sell it for that matter. A much better use of all that grinding that you do. And the last rule I would like to see on the casual server is being able to box 2 characters from 1 computer. Controversial, yes, but boxing is a fact of life now in EverQuest. People are going to box regardless of the rules, whether it's endorsed or not. So I feel why make it harder than necessary. Now, I don't necessarily like it when people do 6 boxing, but I can see the case for 2 to 3 characters. Sometimes you need help to get something done and no one's online, especially when you get into the later months of an expansion when everyone's just raid logging. It's hard to get anything accomplished. And sometimes you can't find a tank, you can't find a healer to fill out a group. So having an extra character can help solve that. It would help server fatigue too, because if you have 2 characters to quest and gear for, that gives you a lot more to do. Now, the hardcore server rules. The hardcore server should be quicker. Expansion unlock should be 4 to 6 weeks. A little problem with that because I think people got burned out on CeeLo because they just couldn't keep up. So maybe a tiny bit longer than a month, but remains to be seen. And I think it should start in Kunark and not in Classic because Classic is lacking raid content. The experience rate should be higher like CeeLo or Feronia Vi, and the rate of rare spawn should be higher. The lockout for raid instances should also be halved, so I think it was 3 days, so you can raid more often. And you should be able to box not 2 characters, but I think 3 characters on 1 computer. Hardcore players, in my opinion, tend to box more than casuals, so let them have it. Loot should also be free trade, which again helps you gear up those box alts and sell to make platinum. And lastly, maybe put in the Mischief and Thornblade random loot system. Let hyper-competitive players go to that server. You want to protect casual players from the abuses that hardcore players will do to them. The casual player base are the lifeblood of this game. You don't want to give them a reason to quit. At minimum, the 2 servers should differ enough so that the hardcore and casual players are kept separate. They feel a reason to choose different servers. If a casual server was announced, I will be rebooting the EverQuest Adventure series. Let's go do Bard. Now, some honorable mentions from the community post. This has been floated around a long time, having all classes available at launch, so that means having Beast Lord and having Berserker available earlier. Amazing idea, I don't think they can do it with their coding, but that would be an awesome server. Next idea, what if there are mercenaries at launch? So a big reason why people box is because they need a little extra help, but if you had a mercenary that could fill in that role, and mercenaries are easier to drop than a box, why not? But again, I don't know if they're able to do that with the coding. Next idea is a locked travel start. So you start in Classic, but you're able to pick the other races, say Ixar or Vashir, but you're only able to travel between the different continents when those expansions are unlocked. So what I mean by that is if you're Ixar, you can only get off of Kunark when the Kunark expansion drops. If you're Vashir, you can only leave the moon when the Luckland expansion drops. That would be interesting gameplay because you would only have a set number of classes you could pick for each race, and you got no way to get out. Now, an interesting idea, it's called a chaos server. Random start locations, zone connections are changed during time of day or season, a low % chance for a wild effect to happen upon action such as casting a nuke, get a different effect, and of course randomized loot, minus quest rewards, and Fronivi loot rules. That would be crazy. I don't know if they could do that though. Some people wanted a start in Gates of Discord because that would give you all classes available, a lot to do. Other people said, why not take Mischief and Thornblade to the next level? Why not have everything be randomized? What if a rat could drop a fungi tunic? That would be crazy. And then the last suggestion was a server that had similar rules to Furiona Vi. So no common tongue. You would use your race's language to start out with and have to learn others. You would have a higher experience rate. You'd have free trade. It'd be interesting to see. Now, thank you for all the help for making this video. See you in the next one.